Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. You're listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I am Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional. I am here with Pastor John Antonucci, and we do have a special guest today in studio, Matt Sinclair, and we'll tell you all about him real soon. But stay tuned. There's a lot to talk about, a lot going on right now.
Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner Alfie Townsend. You know, Alfie adds value to your portfolio. He doesn't market time, stock pick, or track record invest. And Alfie has a book that is in high demand every week. And due to popular demand, he's making it available to you again this week. A complimentary copy of his book awaits you. To claim your book absolutely free, just text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077. That's B-O-O-K to 239-747-1077. Listen, if you don't text, just pick up the phone, call the operator, and ask for his complimentary book that he's offering today. Don't miss out on the valuable insights, including many, many stories about investors that he has helped save over the years, his 40-year career. That's why he named this program Saving the Investor, to save you from the pitfalls, the schemes, the traps of Wall Street. And text the word book or call the operator to 239-747-1077. And we're so pleased to be joined by the founder of Sinclair Custom Homes. Matt Sinclair is building an incredible house in Town and River. If you ever drive down Cypress Lake Drive, you'll see just an incredible house that is moving pretty quick, Matt. And I could tell you, I've never seen anybody put up a house that size that quick. But Alfie, it sure is coming out beautiful. And I know you can't wait to take occupation of it and celebrate Christmas in there.
We got FP&L sort of holding things up a little bit right now. But Matt Sinclair, I met Matt. This is, I always say you want to do business with people that are like-minded. That's the same thing here at the Advantage Retirement Group. People know where we stand. We don't hide anything, and people want to do business with like-minded people. And when I met Matt, we were at a Byron Donald's event over, I think it was three meatballs in a kitchen, right?
Yeah, it was, yes.
Two meatballs in the kitchen. That's right across the street here at our office. But this one was in the Cape, and Byron Donald's was there, and you're tied into the community. That's what I like about you. And we hit it off. We were at first going to just do a remodel, and then the thing about it was this: we were going to do a remodel. You did come over and look at it, and you and Jason, and that didn't go through because they wouldn't let us do what we wanted to do. So we were going to go buy another house and move, and then the hurricane came, and then we did have another builder at the time. We had another builder, and I just wasn't feeling good about this builder. He was a great builder. I'm not going to mention names. Great builder, but I just didn't connect with him. When someone tells me not to text him on the weekend, he answers calls on during the week. That sort of pissed me off, I have to say. So I fired him. I did a Donald Trump. I fired him. And I said, who do I want to build this house? I said, Matt, do you have time? And he said, let me come and see it. And I said, can you do a house like this? He says, absolutely. So Matt Sinclair is welcome to the show, man. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself and where your office is.
Hey, great to be here. Hey, thanks for having me. We're located in Cape Coral, Florida, and we serve basically surrounding areas of Southwest Florida, and basically have a full blown cabinet shop, full spray booth facility. We incorporate all our custom cabinetry and woodwork into all our builds, which really sets us apart from a lot of the other builders. And we have Sinclair Custom Homes also, Sinclair Custom Cabinets. And basically, I've been in construction now. I'm just going into my 38th year right now.
Oh,
so I've been around for a while, and I've been in Southwest Florida approximately 20 years, and we love what we're doing, and we love doing high-end homes and custom builds.
Yeah, and you really came from Canada, right?
Yeah, I originally came from Canada. Yeah, I was one of those guys that dropped out of school when they were 15.
Okay.
Picked up the trade, apprenticed, built a large company there, and I got so big it got boring, so I went and opened up a business in Detroit. And then I was doing a lot of high-end homes in Bloomfield Hills and Farmington Hills, and basically 9/11 came, and it was getting really difficult to go back and forth across the border.
Yeah.
Went from 30 minutes to an hour and a half a day, each way.
Oh my.
So I was like, that's it, So basically, decided to come down here to Southwest Florida.
So how'd you come to Southwest Florida?
So at the time, I was doing all the red roof inns in the United States. I was doing basically all the renovations and so forth, and I was friends with the vice president, and his mother lived in Southwest Florida in Cape Coral. And he was like, listen, this is one of the safest cities in the United States. It's a great place to raise a family. So I brought my wife down here, and she was reluctant because it was so far away from home. So I gave her an ultimatum. I said it was either Detroit or Cape Coral. So we picked Cape Coral.
Good choice. Now, Matt, you've been building my home, and we always talk about foundations. We have a process that we use, and the foundation is the most important part, which is that's your base. That's if everything. You always have to have that your money in something that's not at risk. It's not at risk, and you need to create income. And in your case, the foundation, what I liked about you is, when we gave you the foundation, you went over to your architectural engineer, but he was from Dade County, right?
He was actually from Cape Coral. He grew up in Cape Coral, and he's very, very good at what he does. He's one of the top demo engineers in New York City. He just finished taking down Glengardia Airport about a year or so back, but he's very good. So you want to start from the base and all the way up, and what better to have is an engineer that understands the whole structural. There's a lot of guys that have stuff, they just stamp it and they push it out, but this guy really goes through, does all the calculations properly, and makes sure that there's not going to be any issues moving.
But didn't he do things in Dade County also?
Oh, yeah, he's been all over the state of Florida. He's been all over. I think he's actually worked in the New York building department, and so he's way overqualified. I think he's utmost more qualified than anybody here.
Yeah. And then you have also, that's why we have a lot of rebar in our home, but that's, rebar. And then that's what I like about you, Matt, is we have a builder in Maryland. When we were in Maryland, he became one of my best friends and built my home. But I remember Tommy and I would ask him, can we do this? No. Yeah, okay. Can we do this? But Matt, can we do this? Yes. He has never said no. He has never said no. And, he's always, let me think about it. He works with our designer. I know they butt heads now and then, but they're going to build a home together that will be a showplace because he makes things happen instead of telling you why it can't happen. So I do like that. We have this, we had a supply chain fiasco during, COVID, and now we have this breakout with these dock workers that aren't going to be coming back to work anytime soon, it looks like. How's that going to affect the housing industry?
Well, in regards to a lot of the materials that are coming in off ports, there's a lot of wood products that are still made in South America. A lot of drywall is still made in the United States, but like in regards to metal and steel and scrap, that's going to be a big problem. And in regards to furniture and you name it, anything and everything, raw materials, that's going to be a big problem.
And then we got Walmart, they get everything over there, and then you got Costco, and it's going to be a wreck.
Yeah, and the lines were around Costco like you wouldn't believe, wrapping both ways. People are a little bit uptight, and economy's on a little bit of a powder keg with that. So, just like a builder like Matt, who is a professional, who has experience for many, many years, knows how to lay a proper foundation. So does Alfie Townsend. Alfie has put together a retirement simulator process that you really need to take advantage of. And listen, he can only handle 9 callers because that's all he can handle in a week. Has an incredible staff here, a team here that's absolutely second to none. But you want to take advantage of his 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional, and you want to take advantage of his retirement simulator process. Listen, you need to pick up the phone. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Don't put it off to the end of the show. Pick up your smart device right now and either text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077, or call the operator, tell them I want to sit down with Alfie and take advantage of his retirement simulator process. He can only handle 9. What is it going to do for you? It's going to take you back 5 years. You're going to see your portfolio. We know how yours performed, but you're going to see how Alfie's would have performed. He's then going to make sure that you're diversified correctly, that you're allocated properly, that you're not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting. He's also going to expose hidden fees that you don't even see that could be eating up your returns and your gains each and every year. You owe it to yourself to get a second opinion. Even if you've been with an advisor for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, why not get a second pair of eyes? Why not get Southwest Florida's premier financial planner professional, Alfie Townsend? Give him a call today. Take advantage of his expertise. He's going to add value to you. 239-747-1077. Text the word VISIT. Be one of the first 9 callers, or call the operator, 239-747-1077.
Yeah. And, we were talking about inflation, and inflation has been really the killer, because if you think about it, you might have got a 3% raise, but if inflation is 9%, you're backwards 6%. That's why this election is so important, because people are struggling right now. They're struggling. And then, so we started building our house during a high inflationary time, but now things have start coming down a little bit. And the workforce, Kamala wants to build 3 million homes here. We're not here, but around the country. And I will ask Matt when we get back after this break, what is that going to do to home prices, number one? And is that a lofty goal that most likely is just talk? So there's a whole lot to talk about. This is going to be an exciting segment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Saving the Investor. Again, you're listening to Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida Certified Financial Planner Professional, here with Pastor John Antonucci and my personal builder, awesome builder here in Southwest Florida, Matt Sinclair. So we're, talking about really what does building and what does financial planning have to do? Why do I have my builder here in studio with us? And it's because they correlate. They correlate. You have a foundation. Your foundation is, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have an income plan, if you don't know where your money's coming from, if you don't have the emergency money set in your foundation, you might have a problem. Your walls, when you build walls, you have to make sure they're secure. And that's going to be where you're going to have to make that, 5 to 8% on your money. And the weakest part of the house is what?
The weakest part? Well, the weakest, the roof?
Yeah. Well, when I say weakest, a storm comes, that gets hit first.
Absolutely, that get hit first. But what we have the biggest problem down here in Southwest Florida is water. And so when you have water, you have undermining, and you got to look at your foundation. So your foundation is probably the most important thing about the whole house.
That's true. Because if you don't dig deep enough, that water's going to get underneath it. And you saw these homes in North Carolina just floating down the river.
Yeah, they really sad down, or I should say up there. They really don't have very many codes or regulations. They just build it up, and all they have is an electrical inspection, from what I understand. Down here, very, very thorough. It's footer through tie beam. You have all those inspections, and you have anything and everything else you can think of for life and safety.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that Alfie does is he always, you as a listener have to realize that he's always going ahead to prepare in case something would take place that could be unforeseen. I noticed with the house that you built there, you actually raised the foundation, didn't you, in order to get above the water table?
So basically, yeah, we have a FEMA, elevation certificate heights that you have to comply with. And so we had the truck in to set the elevation for basically the soil, and then we did a footer. And then after the footer, you do a stem wall, and that brings the elevation of the slab to the appropriate height, and then you fill it, compact it, and you pour your slab, and that's where you go.
Yeah, that's great. With rebar, and there's so much rebar in there, and it's, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go anywhere during hurricane, because we stayed at the house behind our house during Ian, and then we saw our house, the one that we knocked down, because it was built in '74. We bought it, and it was just not, it was 6 feet. And now they're 9 feet, and we had water and everything else. So we said, what, this is not going to happen again. So even this last hurricane, Helene, it raised the water in Town and River. It was 1 foot less than what Ian was.
I thought the wind was just as bad as
No. Now you're no.
That wind was blowing.
No, it would have gusts of wind, but Ian, it was over 100 sustained winds. constant.
Flipped them in the direction because I have a planter out front which wasn't knocked over at Ian. It was knocked down on this one. So.
It was definitely the direction because it was three to four times the wind, but the water level was crazy. It was the same.
Well, we were in high tide, so that had a lot to do with it. And basically, it's just all timing. You know what I mean? You never know what's going on with the winds and the storms and so forth. It's a big gamble. You never know.
Now, when Ian came, you're over in Matlacha.
Yeah, Matlacha Isles. Yep,
Matlacha Isles. So that was hit real bad, right?
Extremely.
That was the eye, wasn't it?
I was in the eye the whole time. Everything. It was
in the house that you built.
Yeah, 16 hours I stayed in there. Yeah, we had electricity up until about 8 hours, and then after that, generator kicked on. Yep. Yeah, and basically,
did you have some people meeting at your house?
I did. Yeah, I had multiple people. At one night, well, pretty much after my house, when you go up the road there, everything was washed out. So it was kind of like a base place. I'd have anywhere from the mayor coming over for dinner and people meeting over there. And one night I had approximately, I think, 14 state representatives and a House Speaker stay at the house for one night, just trying to get organized, just to check out the areas and see what everybody needed.
Trying to get that bridge up.
Oh, and you know what? We got great state representatives. We have Mike G. Lombardo, and we had Byron Donalds. We all had them down to the island there, and they made stuff happen. It was really good.
Yeah. And just remember, Sanibel Bridge, how they said it was going to be 2 years, and they got that thing up and running fast. So, when you have this estate, the state that we live in is just an amazing state. It really is. And I lived here. Look, I lived in Miami in the 60s and 70s and 80s was Tampa and Miami. And, I didn't make much money. I started my career back then. So, in Florida, the property values would go up about 1 or 2% a year. It wasn't anything. It was, it just was not like it is now. Now people are moving here because of really after COVID, and it was even before COVID, but after COVID, they said, Ron DeSantis has done a fantastic job. And then, we just have great representation. We have Byron Donalds, that's a rock star, and he's right here in our county. So this is, it's a great place to live. So you give back to the community. That's what I like about you, Matt. You give back, a lot of people, and you get things done. So we're talking about, house building. Now, you started your career over in Canada.
Yeah.
And what's different from Canada building in here? Because you got a lot of wood over there.
Well, there's a lot of wood over there, and that's a really big thing. So in Canada, when you're in construction, you're considered a European tradesman. So you get your trade, you learn it, you do it well. Down here, I think the industry's lost a lot. There's not a lot of education, and people have stepped away from construction. Everybody wants to get into the tech. So right now, if I had a crystal ball, I would have never thought that I'd be in the position I am right now. It's like being a doctor, realistically being a contractor, a builder. If you're good at what you do, you're always going to be very busy. But there's everybody's highly skilled. Here, there isn't a lot of really highly skilled people here. So you either get, good and cheap. You can have three. I think that's how it is. Good, quick, and cheap. You know what I mean? So I try to do good and quick. There's nothing cheap about me because I want to make sure the customer always gets what they want, and I don't never spare the quality. They always have a good product and something that's going to last a lifetime.
I love it. And when you spare the quality, that's the service that we give here at the Advanced Retirement Group. I always said we're going to give good service because I like good service, and I know what I like, and I know if I like it. Most of our clients, they want good service. So when they call, they get answered right away. They know it. That's what they like about working with us, the service that we give. And really, we have taken technology to a new level. We have taken technology where we can, like John says, you can bring in your portfolios and let us look at it. Let us analyze it. Let us show you what the good and bad and ugly is. What are your fees that you don't even know what you're dealing with? There's so many fees that you don't even know. Are you taking more risks than you really need to take? And then what we'll do is we'll run a side-by-side comparison. Here, this is what you have. This is what we have. Let's put them together in the same risk. Let's see how they perform. And that's what you want. You want to look at things If you haven't really had a portfolio check, that's our retirement simulator process. You're doing yourself a disservice, especially this time right now with the election, with the port closure, with Iran, Israel. There's so much, and then you got Ukraine and Russia. We didn't talk about that. There's just so much going on. It's chaos out there. And if you don't have a plan to protect your money now, if your account goes down 20, 30%, and you're living on that income right now, you're going to be in trouble. So you're talking about running out of money. That's the number one fear that retirees or people soon to be retired fear, is not having an income plan and not knowing where their income's coming from if they have enough to retire. So if you have any concerns at all, John's going to give you the number and tell you what we're going to do for you, but it's worth to come in.
Yeah, really important. And we're talking with Matt Sinclair from Sinclair Custom Homes as a builder. And long before Matt tore down that house, Alfie showed me a series of plans on a blueprint. And before you can build anything confidently, you need to have a blueprint or a plan or a strategy. If you don't have that, you might need to tear down your portfolio process right now and really prepare a new strategy that's going to get you to and through retirement. Alfie can establish that for you. He's going to establish an income plan that will put together your goals and dreams and your vision for your future. And he has what's called a retirement simulator process. It's really a deep, entailed process that his team here does. He can only do 9 per week. So you need to be one of the first 9 callers. You need to pick up the phone right now. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait till we go off the air. Text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. You can meet with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples. He has 2 beautiful offices, wherever is more convenient for you. And he's going to do a deep dive into your current portfolio to see what's really going on. He might have to tear down some things that aren't getting you to where you want to go and reestablish a plan and a strategy that will get you to and through retirement. You don't want to outlive your money. You want your money to outlive you. And that's why you need a certified financial planner professional with over 40 years experience. Alfie doesn't market time, stock pick, or track record invest. He puts together a strategy because he's a fiduciary, which means his responsibility is to you, the client, not to any products or services that he offers here through the Advantage Retirement Group. But you want to sit down with him in Fort Myers or Naples, take advantage of his 40 years of expertise. Let him be a second opinion. Listen, if you're on the right track, if you're doing well, he's going to tell you. But if you need to restructure and reestablish a brand new income plan and strategy, he's going to get you to and through retirement. 239-747-1077.
John, I like what you said. Sometimes you have to tear it down. Like, if you think about it, sometimes you have to tear down that door, right? You have to tear all that paint off, all that, if you're going to repaint something, you got to tear it down. It looks ugly before it looks pretty. It's like really our drywall. Drywall's up there, and there's different levels of drywall. I found out that you taught me, and these guys are making it where it's an art. It's an art. I talked to Jesus, and he's amazing guy. That just knows his trade, and he'll look at something that I thought was good, and he goes, "I want that redone." So he sees things that we don't see. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Saving the Investor. We're a certified financial planner professional, Alfie Townsend. We're in studio with Matt Sinclair of Sinclair Custom Homes. And Alfie's book was in high demand last week, and due to popular demand, he's offering it again. A complimentary copy of his book awaits you. To claim your book, just text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077. If you don't text, you can just call the operator. So I want to take advantage of Alfie's complimentary book, and we'll send it right out to you. Alfie's book is your guide to a fulfilling retirement. You don't want to miss out on the valuable insights, including many, many stories about investors that he has helped save over his 40-year career. That's why he named this broadcast Saving the Investor, in order to save you from the pitfalls, the schemes, the traps of Wall Street. Take advantage of his complimentary offer today. Call the operator, ask for it, or text the word book to 239-747-1077. That's 239-747-1077.
Well, John, I was just thinking here. We have a lot of unexpected things that happen. Things. Yeah, that's why we always talk about emergency money. You have to have that's in your foundation of any good plan. But things happen. You have this hurricane. The different hurricanes. The first thing, it seems like roof leaks, and then your grass gets just flooded and washed away. So a lot of different things happen. But when you're building a home, Matt, you probably built a lot of homes where you set the expectation for your clients, right? You haven't done that with me yet because that's not true.
I kept schedule.
Yeah, he keeps schedule. Our guy that's helping with the design, he's like, have Matt slow down a little bit. I've never had a builder ask to slow down, right? Yeah. But we had a neighbor, it took him a 19 months to get into his home, and it'll be just around 12 months for ours. And it's just because he has the right people working for him. That's the thing. These other builders that have, they're doing 10 homes, 20 homes. What happens? They'll take their people and move them around, throughout the week. So you might have them for 2 or 3 days that week if you're lucky. And then they wonder why it's taking so long to get their home built. And when I chose Matt, I said, Matt, can you just dedicate our house this year? And he said, yes. And that's the difference between who we had and what Matt is, because Matt dedicated, but he has the people to, he has the general contractors, he has his in-house people, and there's always workers at our house. Right. There's always
nonstop.
There's always workers, and they come on and they work late, and they come on a Saturday, and they're getting things done because, and I'm going to ask you, is it slowing up a little bit even in our community for building?
Well, it is slowing up in some aspects on overall projects, but the subcontractors are right now just getting caught up. And the storm that we just had last week, I think, is going to have a little bit of effect on some people. Everything in Pine Island was wrecked that was redone, and some of the people haven't even gotten up to where they needed to be from 2 years ago.
Even before Myers Beach got set.
Yeah, it's a vicious circle. It definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like getting worse and worse. So, how do you keep expectation from the unexpected?
So basically, you want to interview the subcontractors that you're dealing with. I have a large source of guys that I like using. There's guys that I've used on every single job. There's guys that I pick and choose for specific jobs because certain guys are qualified and some are not. But when it comes down to it, you put the ink to paper. You want to be within budget, and then you have things that fluctuate, and that does happen. But you want to make sure that they keep on a timeline, and you set that expectation. And usually when you do that and you have good people, everything goes real smooth.
Well, one thing that happened almost at the very beginning of the project, there was a contractor came and he had a bunch of brick on his machine, and he rode partly over our dock. Yeah. And just put a hole in it about a 4x4, almost took the whole machine in there. And so it could have been there was probably about 12 pieces of wood that could have been replaced to fix it. But Matt said, no, this is unacceptable because it's not going to match. We want the whole, he talked to the insurance company. He goes, we want the whole dock replaced. And that's, and I didn't do any of the fighting. He did it.
Fought against that tooth and nail, didn't it?
And sure enough, they came back and agreed with him and replaced, it was a $57,000 job. Yeah. But this is when you have someone,
that's excellent.
When you have someone on your side that is protecting your best interests, and he didn't have to do that, but he did. And the same thing with us. And, Matt charges, he'll say he'll get you the best price, and he says I add 20% on. It might be 25. I don't know what it is, but 20. Okay, well I get the other 5.
You get the family discount.
That's post-bionomic numbers, though.
Yeah. So what he does is he shops. That's how you build a home. Let him get you the best prices, and then he adds 20% on. It's almost the pricing that he gets would be almost where you would be able to get it at 20% more. So you're getting him for free, and he's built
institutional prices like what you do.
And the same thing, exactly, John. And that's like what we have. We have managers that it would take you $10 million to put money in to have, but we can do. We have hundreds of millions of dollars in those accounts, even billions with our with our investors around the country, we have billions in there, so we get pricing that you can't get on your own. So that's what I always say is you want things that you can't get on your own. And that's what I want. I want things that I can't get on my own. I want it even more. And that's what Matt does. He will give you a built product. Now, I tell everybody, don't call and ask them to build your home until my home is done. That's the only requirement. And it's supposed to be done pretty soon, but that's the only requirement. But if you'd like to have a builder that you can interview that will look out for your best interest, that will build you an unbelievable home, you got the right guy, Matt Sinclair. Matt, you got to, say a couple more things, and then we're wrapping this show up.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to reach out to us, you can get a hold of us at sinclaircustomhomes.com, or you can, anybody needing cabinets, we do custom cabinetry, sinclaircabinets.com. But basically, we do quality over quantity, and we love doing what we do.
That's all. Hey, that's putting a bow on it.
Yeah, institutional pricing, Alfie's talking about, which is very important. Those of you that are listening that are do-it-yourselfers, in investing, you think you're saving money, but actually you're not getting the type of products at the rates that he can get. You want institutional pricing. That's why you want a certified financial planner professional in your corner. And Alfie Townsend has over 40 years experience as a CFP, and he doesn't market time, track record, invest, or stock pick. All he's going to do is add value to you and your portfolio and put you in a position to excel, to succeed, so that you can set sail towards retirement. And even through retirement, he's going to make sure that you stay retired. That's his job, is to keep you unemployed and having your income be able to pay for your dreams of whatever you like to do, boating or traveling or whatever it is that you like to do on a daily basis. Give Alfie Townsend a call. It's not going to cost you anything to sit down with him. It's really going to be to your benefit to get a second opinion. And you can visit with him in Fort Myers or Naples, 239-747-1077. You also can text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Let Alfie Townsend be your guide to a fulfilling retirement process. You owe it to yourself. Get a second opinion. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Give him a call today.
Thanks, John, and thanks, Matt. This was a great show. We like bringing guests on that brings a different view on financial planning and building a home. It's, you build that foundation, you build the walls, you build the roof, and every aspect of it has a different meaning and different purpose. And the same thing when you build a portfolio, when you're building a plan, you're building it for your income, you're building it for your legacy, you're building it for this money can't go down, this is my secure money, and so it does correlate a lot when you think of it that way. It's the fiscal house, we call it the fiscal house. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you've never seen our TV show, it's called Saving the Investor. It's on every Sunday right after Meet the Press at 11 o'clock, 11 to 11:30. We get a lot of viewership on that show. A lot of even NBC is amazed at the amount of people that watch a show like that. And then we just had a couple in here last week that said they watch a show, I think like a religious show, and then they watch our show, and then they watch football. I say, I love it. Yeah, that's a great Sunday to get ready for Sunday. So, and of course, right here on, we've been on this station well over 10 years now, 10, 11, 12 years. So 92.5 with Jake the Millennial, our producer for the show. So we thank you for that. And really, we thank you for listening in. I hope you got something out of this. There's a lot going on in our world, but just be sure to take care and be blessed.